up, everybody? Welcome back to Grid Penalty, the Formula One podcast for everyone. It is the Spanish Grand Prix, and we are here live, not in Spain. I'm Brent Gill. With me, as always, is Jeff Tice. What a race we had today. What a weekend of racing before we go into our off week next week. So excited to talk about it. So excited to talk about Max Verstappen's cheating and his 20 seconds of way too fastness. But before we get into that, as always, we gotta get
plugged. Let's get plugged. What's up, everybody? What's up, Brent? Like you said, such a great weekend of racing. It was so much fun. Absolutely exceeded my expectations for the Spanish Grand Prix. Not to say that it wasn't that exciting, but enjoyed it. All that to say, you can find me on all social media. You can find me on all Spanish social media at Jeffrey Tice, GEOFFREYTICE. I have a couple shows coming up, nothing crazy, but the one you should know about is June 18th on Father's Day. I will be headlining Comedy Works South in Denver, Greenwood Village, Colorado, more so, down in the suburbs. So swing through. June 18th. That's a 3 p.m. show. We're going family friendly. So bring your kids, bring your family, bring your dog.
Bring your grandma.
Yeah, bring your grandma.
Yeah.
Truly. It'll be a fun time. And yeah, come through. And then let's say you are hanging out with your grandma and she is just dusty and old and not funny. You're like, man, grandma.
Got moths just coming out of her sleeves.
Yeah, especially this time of year. You're like, she's just turning into a moth. You're like, grandma, you're not funny. Driving me nuts. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to slowly put her to bed. Be like, okay, it's 3 p.m. Time to go to sleep. I'm going to hop in her Impala, her old 86 Impala, and you're going to drive all the way from Cincinnati is where I picture you guys living right now. You're going to drive all the way to Denver, Colorado. We'll just skip right there. You're going to get to Highway 36. You're not going to stop at Vacuums R Us. You're not going to stop at Coyote Cleaners. You're not going to stop at Cosmos Pizza. What you are going to do, though, is throw that Impala in park. Go to the Rayback Collective at 7 p.m. every single Sunday night and go to the Boulder Comedy Show. The greatest show on earth.
It is.
Brent, where can the good people find you?
Holy Lord, that's a great question. I'm in 7 cities in 18 days.
Damn.
From June 1 to June 18. But if you're not in any of those cities, which you're not, you can't find me there because I'm elusive. Big things that you can find me at. First of all, you can always watch my comedy special. It's got a link to it on my Instagram at I am Brent Gill. It's called Live from Philadelphia. I'd love it if you watched it. I'll be in Huntington Beach on June 23rd at the Rec Room. I'll be headlining Comedy Works South on July 12th.
Yes.
And then my Chiba Hut tour. We got some dates locked in. Atlanta, August 23rd. Orlando, August 25th. St. Augustine, August 26th. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Ooh. September 1st, Milwaukee, September 8th, Chicago, September 9th, Denton, Texas, September 16th, Bend, Oregon, September 23rd, because I'm playing a bunch of fucking golf up there.
Nice.
And then Houston, Tejas. Yep, I split them up like that. I don't get it either, but I chose it. September 30th. We got a couple other dates that we're still trying to lock down, but that's where we're at for now. And then if you're listening to this while we are recording it on Sunday, you can catch me tonight at the or yesterday at the Comedy Mothership in Austin.
Sick.
I will also be there on Monday and Tuesday. So if you're listening to this day of and you're in Austin, come check me out at Joe Rogan's new club. I'm gonna say everything I can to get canceled. It's gonna be great. They're gonna lift me up on their shoulders and they're gonna parade me out of the club. They're like, he's our hero.
I think you're gonna get your name written on the wall if you try at that place. It'll be great. I'm excited to hear about that for sure.
They're gonna unleash my inner heathen, and I don't know how good that is, but the beast has laid dormant for too long. Also, shout out to a couple of very good people that help us with this podcast. Kat Orlean at KO Recording. You can follow her. She is doing big things. So big I can't even talk about them now, but she's doing some great shit right now. Also, check out our video editor, Jan Moffitt at Points and Williams.
Shout out, Jan.
Check our videos on YouTube and our Instagram at Grid Penalty F1. We got merch on Redbubble. You can go to our Instagram and find that merch. And our Discord, it's live.
Hop in.
It's popping. It's popping, and you should pop in.
That's
Comedy
Comedy Mothership tonight, baby. You're gonna hear all
Yeah.
of us. Back to plugs.
I'm bringing that heat, So it's been a good time. Like I said, I've been this month, the first 18 days of this month, Jeff. This is my
You're gonna
trip.
be-
I go Denver, Dallas, Austin, back to Denver, Newport Beach, Memphis, Arkansas, and then back to LA.
Damn.
18 days.
That's gonna be a lot.
18 days.
It's gonna be a lot.
I'm in Austin right now. You can see this how nice everyone.
Beautiful.
It's funny with like my different backgrounds.
Yeah. It looks like you're doing it digitally. They look fake, but they're also just normal enough not to be fake. Like it would be hilarious if they were fake because they are so like a diploma with some nice books and like a plant instead of like a galaxy and you're floating through like asteroid fields. It's like, oh no, I just went to Texas A&M. That's it.
Yep. This plant's digitally imposed. I got the Century Club back here. No big deal.
Yeah. I like the idea of more mundane, just weird angle of the wall just because of how it is. Like it's perfect.
Let's go down. So next podcast for the off week, we'll record after this, and we'll go downstairs, and I'll do it in front of the other Texas A&M diploma of the husband of the house here.
So good.
So it's just been wild. I've been out here drinking a bunch,
good.
shooting guns,
Dude.
bows and arrows. Texas stuff.
Damn, you're going both sides of the coin there.
Yeah,
going bows
dude.
and arrows
Fucking-
and guns.
Come on, player.
I love that. That's fun.
What are you doing?
Are you? Dude, nothing. I've been. I had a show last night, and man, it was one of those like, those sets where halfway through you're like, all right, I need to do a whole different direction. You guys are not like they weren't, and it was a hot crowd. It was a really cool venue called The Process in Denver, and it's like kind of like a working space writing co-op area, and it's owned and run by this guy named Paul Shirley. He's an ex NBA player. He walked in and he's like 6'10". I was like, all right, and I didn't want to be
That's cool.
immediate like, where did you play? And so
So you waited 10 minutes and then
until
asked
the
him?
bar after the show to be like, oh, you play basketball? Huh? Cool, that's nice. Me too. But the halfway.
Me too.
Yeah.
I gave it up for drawing.
Yeah,
but,
man.
I could have.
Art guy, dude. Yeah, heavy art guy. The jump shot had to wait, and the millions of dollars. So
Yeah.
we the crowd was really hot. They were super into the opening comics, and I was going up to headline it, and my first 3 bits like hit pretty hard. I was like, okay, cool. We're going. And then I went into, because of that family friendly show, I have like these 3 new bits that are a bit longer, but they all are super family friendly, about my family, about my daughter. And I could just see their eyes glaze over of like, we don't have kids, we don't care, this isn't relatable. And I'm crushing with like literally 2 moms in the front, and who clearly had kids, and I was like, I lost them so hard on just being relatable. Like, this is just not relatable to most of this crowd. And so I acknowledged it, and that got a huge reaction because they were like, yeah, we all could feel just, nah, dude, we're like a hip co-working, like we're all dual income, no kid vibe. And I was like, you guys have kids, right? Nobody. So
You're like, I used to be you. I used to be that.
That's it. And that's
I used to be cool.
That's why I could feel it, because I was like, yeah, man, you guys just aren't feeling this. And so I acknowledged it, and then hard right, but turned back to like older material that was like, I immediately went into like the weed and cocaine gas station joke. Dude, and it murdered. And I was like, okay, got it.
Daddy's got some edge.
I was like,
okay.
got it. And then finished out my set with just like, not family kid oriented jokes. And I was like, cool, got it. Okay, I should have done that from the start. But one of those like, I'm glad I have this material that I can like switch back and forth between.
Yep.
But man, at first I was like, oh, I'm blowing it. I gotta dial it a different direction. But yeah, man, good show. Other than that, hanging out.
Hell yeah.
What kind of guns are you shooting? Tell us all about the guns you're shooting.
Well, he won't let me shoot the AR-15 because there's only certain times of day that we can do that.
It's hilarious.
I guess.
Yeah.
He's got a bunch of land out here, but we're just not allowed to do it. So, shooting a lot of pistols,
Nice.
some like pump action rifles. But he's like big into archery now.
That's so fun.
And so he's got like a bunch of targets in his backyard.
Archery's hard,
and
dude.
Archery's so fucking hard,
Yeah,
dude.
It's legitimately
so hard.
difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's way taller than me, so like I either have to use the bow that's way too big for me that I have to like pull back just like way too far, or I have to use his wife's bow,
Sick.
which is like a child's bow. I mean, she is tiny.
Yeah,
she is
yeah.
a very small human being, and I'm like
Just
and
stuck
then
in
it's just
between.
Like,
yeah.
yeah, it's like a crossbow
Yeah,
almost,
yeah.
you know. But yeah, dude, it's been pretty fun out here. It's so Texas.
Yeah, of course.
It's so Texas. Like when I was coming from the airport to the house, there was a billboard outside. It's like, "Are you dealing with pests?" It was like a pest control thing. But the bug that they used,
Was a
Jeff,
was cattle?
it was No, it's just people poaching cattle.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it was a goddamn scorpion, dude.
Dude, hilarious.
A scorpion is like the pest of choice for this. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess not of choice, but it absolutely blew my mind to see that. And then I'm talking to. So we went to the green belt to go swimming yesterday, and they're like, "Yeah, just wear some river shoes. It's only like a 1/4 mile walk, no big deal." I was like, "Okay,
Sure.
Should I wear normal shoes to walk there and then change into river shoes?" They're like, "No, just wear your river shoes." Dude, I'm walking on like broken rocks the entire way. And then we get lost. It's like a 1.5 mile hike there. I have 900 beers and a block of ice and a cooler on my shoulder, and I'm just like, and I'm walking with like 1/15 of an inch thick soles on these river shoes. Dude, my body and feet hurt so bad yesterday. I was like hobbling just so the balls of my feet wouldn't like touch the ground for very long. It was brutal. And then we're walking around and there's just no water. There's no water. There's no water.
Oh, no.
There's no water. And then finally it's like, oh, this is the part where the spring actually comes out. We're a little scarce on water. That's what they said. We're scarce on water.
Cool.
And I was like, yeah, but you got all the oil in the world, so that's pretty cool.
Let's go swim in that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a mud bath.
Yeah, just wrap money around
good
your
for your
feet to
skin.
go to the oil fields. Yeah. That's fun.
It's pretty accurate. So it's been a good time. Austin's the most normal part of Texas, or at least in my head. It's the most normal part.
Yeah.
But it is funny because you'll find those people that are like, "Oh, you're in California? Well, don't bring your California values to my Texas land." I'm like, all right, calm down, Tejas.
Yeah.
One dude was like, "You're in Cali? You know that you're gonna have to spend $1.8 million in reparations on every single black person." I'm like, "No, we're not." First of all,
so all I'm hearing is you believe in reparations. Is what I'm hearing.
good. That's progressive.
Sure, good
you know
job,
what?
dude.
Good for you,
Good
Tex.
job, man. Yeah, no one's more afraid of California than Texas for some reason. They're so
It's
worried.
insane.
I mean, they are all moving there, but like we've been through it. Colorado's been through it. We're all Californians now, and they're just that's fine. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that cracks me up.
Y'all aren't much better at driving than Texans
Dude.
or than California.
No, it's just
they're both the same. They're terrible at
it's
driving.
just either a Prius cutting you off or an F-350 cutting you off. It does.
With
it's
a
just
19-inch lift.
That's
and
all
truck
it
nuts.
is. That's the difference. It's the same amount and volume of cars, and everyone sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's wild.
That's great though.
It's wild.
How much longer are
But
you in Texas for? Until
I'll be here
get
for
run
about
over?
3 more days. I leave. Until they export me out of here.
Yeah. I think that's what they
I'll
call
be here until Wednesday, and then I go back to Denver. Got some whole heckler events out there.
Nice.
In Denver, and I drove my car, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Fucking A, I didn't tell you this.
It looked amazing in the post.
Did you hear it too?
Yeah, it sounds. I love cars, dude. I'm excited
so
for
good.
you.
I know,
It
you're a
does
big
sound
car
good.
guy.
It genuinely looks beautiful. It looks awesome.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it. It was funny when I drove it. They had just kind of like, so it's been raining in Colorado for what, 96 days straight?
Dude, it's still going. It's dumping right now. Yeah.
Is it?
Oh yeah, it's like coming down hard today. Yeah.
Knock that shit off.
I know.
It's so funny that they're like down here, like water's pretty scarce. I'm like, wow, it's pretty plentiful in the 2 places I live.
Yeah.
It's been the wettest summer and spring in LA that everyone I've talked to has ever experienced.
Yeah, absolutely.
It rains all the time out there. It's always cloudy. I'm like, this is awesome. Quit bitching about
Yeah,
it. This
yeah.
fucking rules.
Yeah, come
Stop
on.
it. But they can't tune the car because it's like raining in Colorado. It could hail at any moment. If
Yep.
it's raining, hail is right around the corner.
Yep.
So I finally found a day that it was not raining and hailing. Well, it did rain, and then I came in after, and I got to drive it. But
Sick.
still got to get the tune in. Although now they are like, are you going to be here the first couple days of July? Because there's a big car show and car event in Colorado.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, I actually will be, because I will. I'm going to get someone to stay at my house for when I leave in June, so I can just go straight to Florida.
Perfect.
Anyway, a lot of travel this year.
Yeah.
But they're like, we want to show off the car then. I'm like, okay, cool. So now you're giving yourself a due date for the car.
That's nice.
So I should have it by the end of the month.
Damn.
I've been saying that for 2 months, but I
Awesome.
should have it by the end of the month. I don't know.
Huge.
Very excited for it.
That's
very
dope.
excited for it.
That's dope.
I think I'm trying to lower my expectations though,
Yeah.
because I need to lower my expectations so I have because the car is heavier. It's a different car.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
the Z3. So the whole learning experience of this has been very fun.
Yeah. It'll be a different monster.
It's been quite enjoyable.
Do you think your car will get within 25 seconds of Max Verstappen? Do you think it'll get close to how fast?
I bet you it'll be within a minute and 20 seconds
Nice.
of Max Verstappen's
Pretty
car.
good.
Yeah,
So ahead
Yeah.
of probably Alpha Tauri, but
Yes.
behind.
Yes, I mean I'll be ahead of them, ahead of Williams,
Yep.
but and ahead of Valtteri Bottas.
Yep.
Because what the fuck is happening to his career?
Dude, he's struggling. It's just I think Bottas is just having too much fun.
See, and he says he's not though.
I know. I think he's I don't know, man. You go from being the number 2 guy, winning, getting podiums nonstop. You just have to worry about Lewis, which is fine. And then now that car is rough. Like I think it was a false start with how good Alpha looked last year, and then into this year, it's just like they're struggling. I feel like if you're struggling this year, you really are having a hard time. Williams, Alpha Tauri, Alfa Romeo, like McLaren, they just can't get out of the sludge. Helmut Marko has spilled into the back markers. At least Haas has taken, like, they have these flare-ups of excitement.
Yeah.
I say the McLaren, like, their race pace is trash, but I mean,
Fucking
Lando,
it's terrible.
They qualied 3. They qualied
Dude,
third.
he did a really good job with it, with his quality. I mean, Mac
Old
Mac looked pretty good.
Return
Old
of the
McLaren.
Return of the Mac. Yeah. Yeah.
They looked great, dude, and it was so fun to watch Lando hit the top of the. Quali was so fun. Quali, I'm starting to enjoy way more than the actual. That's an overstatement.
I know what you mean.
I'm really
though.
enjoying Quali.
Yeah.
I'm really, really, really enjoying Quali because I think a lot of people, I think a lot of like passive fans will kind of look over Quali, and they don't really. They're like, okay, whatever, because it doesn't. You're right. It's not indicative of the race, and it's for sure not. It's crazy to see the types of laps. These drivers are very good. It's crazy to see the lap times that they can do.
Yeah.
Once.
Yep. Well, like
fucking once.
When they just lock it in for one lap and they have everything tuned for the most part in their favor. They have fuel loads. They have the right setup. They have the right tires. Good conditions of the track. That was a huge part of McLaren yesterday or on Quali Day. The track temperature, everything was perfect for them. Their car is really amazing this year through high-speed corners, and that's what a lot of Barcelona is. So everything like came together, and then obviously it just shows Lando can be a world-class driver with that one-lap pace. And then you get into the start, you don't cover off Lewis, you explode your front wing, and then your whole race is over. But
God,
it was great.
They had such opportunity there.
Yeah.
And listening to Lando's interview after the race, it was just like he looked and sounded defeated.
Man.
I mean, he's just like, what do you want?
Yeah, what? What's up?
What?
What's up?
We have the 8. We have the 6. He said. He goes. we have this like 7th or 8th fastest car out there.
Damn.
I don't know what you want me to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh Lord.
When Lando is like, I don't care in an interview, it's so fun, but also so like, oh, the PR people are like, Lando, please dial it back, because he just gets so honest so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which a lot of them are that way.
Hard to see.
But man,
yeah,
quality that was good, and then obviously Max just crushing it. Aston this weekend wasn't as dominant as they have been. This was kind of probably their worst, at least for Alonso, worst weekend performance.
I mean, it was the worst scoring. It seemed like.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they were both in double points. But I had much higher expectations for Fernando.
Yeah.
In his home race than what he gave us.
Yeah, totally. I felt bad. Like, I always want the home driver to do what Carlos did well, but like didn't get a podium. No. And then also Leclerc, like what?
Fuck,
I
dude.
mean, what a disaster for him. It was. I don't even know what was going on. It seemed like mechanical issues in quali that took him out, and then either those carried over into the race, and it just was an absolute disaster for him. He was just at the bottom the whole time, couldn't get a grasp of the car, and he even said prior to his final lap before everything went to shit in Q2, he was like, everything felt great today. He's like, all the free practices, everything felt great, and then he got to quali and he's just like, I can't steer this car. I don't know what's going on. So who knows what's going on with that car? It just seemed like to completely fall apart in the course of between FP3 and quali. It's crazy.
He was talking about how he felt he could feel a difference between the different sets of hard tires. Even he's like, one set of hards felt great, and then the next set felt like trash. And that's on Pirelli. Maybe, but I think that their upgrades. Let's just put it on Pirelli.
Ferrari put on big Parmesan wheels. They're like, these will work. And you're like, all right, don't be that Italian. Yeah, guys. Cheese jokes. Our cheese jokes are back.
I liked that one, Jeff. That was very good.
It's a fun visual. It's fun to think about.
And it's just a trail of just grated Parmesan cheese on the track.
We got a lot of graining, and it's just...
I think that he was saying that their upgrades are like worse on degradation.
Yeah.
From Ferrari. And it just, I mean, it looked... Oof. Yeah. And also they're like, like their strategy again was just a shit show.
Yeah, he was on hard tires, went for 17 laps, which the other people were going at least 25 before their first pit stop. He goes to soft and then has to pit again, and it just was.
And then goes back to hards.
It's a mess.
And he said that the second set of hards were better. It was very weird.
Awful.
It was very weird.
Poor Charles. It's been a rough start of the year.
I really feel bad for him. I mean, I don't want to leave Fernando in the dust here. Because I felt like that was a very bad race for them. But like the part that I thought was quite interesting, this 20+ year vet, right? He's a KG motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're seeing a side of Fernando that we haven't seen before. He's like, hey, tell Lance I'm not going to push him. Fuck it. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's a team thing. That like this is a guy that's 20 years in that's like, whatever. I don't care if it's my home race. A race is a race. I've had 20 of these races, 23 of these races, 23 home races. What's 24? Who cares? Who cares? It's weird to see him not fighting like that. I partly wonder, is it him getting a grip of money? I wonder if it was a lot of thoughts here. Sorry.
No, these are good.
I wonder if it's a matter of when they signed him, is there an agreement between Lawrence Stroll and Fernando that's like, look, you're our guy, but that is my son.
Yes.
And I've spent a lot of money to buy him this seat.
Yes.
in the team. Be nice to my boy.
Yeah.
Like, is that? Do you think that has anything to do with it? Do you think that he genuinely likes the environment there, and he's like, actually, this feels good. This is nice. Like what do you think's going on with Fernando? Or is he just aging? Is he maturing?
I think it's a mix of a little of all those things, but truly, what I believe is, I deep down, I don't think Alonso sees Lance as a threat, the same way that he saw Esteban at Alpine as a threat. I think he saw what Esteban is capable of, and in a car that was probably catered and or at least built around and has more experience in Esteban. And I think he took that fight to Esteban. Also, Esteban will bring that fight to you, we've known over the years. And so I think that friction showed that Fernando clearly still has it to go after him and fight on the track. And, you know, it's him first before the team, only because of who Ocon is.
Mm-hmm.
Then you transfer that over to Aston Martin. One, you mix in success. The car's fast.
Yep. Yeah.
And on top of that, he's consistently beating Lance. I just don't think he sees him as a threat. So then that smooths out any tension, and he can be like, yeah, man, I'm your dude. Like, you know what, a couple of races ago when he was watching Lance on the Jumbotron, he's like, hey, tell Lance it was a great move. And that's like for like 17th position. It's just like, he's so far ahead.
You're driving right now. You're going 200 miles an hour. Fucking.
He's just watching TV.
Focus on the road.
Yeah, he's a Sky Glass customer as he's driving. He's hitting the red button. He's rewinding, dude. He's just, his DRS is the Sky remote. It's,
oh god.
Yeah, man. I think it's just kind of a mix of those things where he is probably more mature, but also the situation is perfect for him right now where he's getting podiums. He has a chance to win, I think, later in this year. If Max somehow explodes or, I don't know, gets taken out in turn 1, which hasn't happened yet, but there's always that potential. He's always been right there. So I think that just alleviates so much of the tension in the team. And it looks great for him because he can keep putting in results. It makes him look great. He doesn't have to shit on Lance to be like, come on, man, come up here with me. He's just like, dude, I'm getting results I want to get. That relationship with Lawrence is probably pretty good because of it. They gave him a great car.
He's still third.
Yeah.
In constructor or in driver standings, you know. And and he's, you know, I'm just a little confused as to how he did just his whole. It feels like his before. I mean, he didn't qualify very well.
Yeah,
Fernando, he didn't finish great. I mean, it just seems like it wasn't a good weekend for him. I don't know if maybe he's tired. He is old, so he might be a little.
Also, a thing to realize is when they're at their home race, their media obligations are tenfold what they normally have.
True.
I'm sure he's meeting with so many more media outlets and meetings and doing so much more press because it's his home race. And you know, that goes for Carlos too. I think both of those guys, it's the Ricardo effect when he goes, or Piastri when they go to Australia, they just get hammered with press because they're the only driver. Yuki in Japan, it's just a whole nother level of attention for them. And also you mix in Carlos and Alonso have a chance to win, or at least they're up in the top. And that just heightens, I think, everyone's attitude and pressure. And, you know, whether that actually gets to them or not, it seems like it might. But overall, I just think it's got to be a taxing weekend for them just overall. And we'll see how they do in Montreal with a week off. Maybe they come back and it's just locked in and totally different guys. But I would have to say that does factor in a little bit if you're at a home race and you're expected to perform.
Yeah, that's a good observation that you made there, Jeff. Well done.
Thank you. I love F1.
I would not have thought of that, and I bet that does fuck you up a bunch because, like, I mean, like, I've even talked about how it seems like when they're, when they go, like Nick DeVries, Logan, all these guys when they go into from F2 to F1, just everything is like amplified. Everything's 100 times what it was, and so that would make sense that would affect them. Like that for sure.
Yep.
But what doesn't make sense is Checo Perez.
Ooh.
2 weeks in a row.
Checo. Good race. He did well. He didn't do what he should have done. He moved up. You're right. He had got a lot of new places, but he was still 3 minutes behind Max. I don't know. Yeah, he needs to be second, which I know like everyone has hammered home for this whole year. Like if he wants to mitigate or do damage limitation to any other team, he has to be second because of the car, and it's just it keeps not coming together for him. Yeah.
You think it's him?
I think so. I think it's a mix of the car being. I mean, the car's great, but I think it's a mix of the atmosphere at Red Bull, the pressure, and then now coming off the heels of a really bad race and then going into this race and not I think this has the potential to compound into a spiral of that gap just forming larger and larger between him and Max. And then, even like Helmut, our guy, had basically said like this was a reality check for Checo. It's like, come on, man. Like, we know, but also shut up. He's on your team. So on the flip side of that,
what are you doing here? You don't even like Danny Ricciardo, Helmut. So
like,
what the fuck is your goal here, brother?
What are you like? He's just this like independent, just international waters dude who just like taking shots at everyone. He doesn't care. It's like, dude, they're all on your payroll. Why are you doing this? But also talking about taking shots, it was a really fun moment. I don't know if you saw on the Sky post race interview, Nico Rosberg was interviewing Horner. And he talked about, the gap between Checo and his first stint was just really lackluster. And he just kind of like took a couple shots at Checo's start of the race before he really started knocking off places. And Horner got really prickly really fast and just goes, hey, man, you really like criticizing a lot of these guys now that you're not a driver, huh? Like,
whoa!
Yeah, he let him. He goes, wow, you're you really like to criticize these guys pretty harshly. And he goes, now that you're not a driver, you go pretty hard on these guys, huh? And then he goes, and then just, and then he kept on with the interview. But it was a nice little moment of like, hey, man, watch your mouth about my driver.
Wow. And watch who you're talking to, all right? Yeah. That's my guy. Yeah. That's my Mexican guy.
Yeah, which Horner does a great job of that. Like, he's a really good, he's straight shooter, whatever you want to say. He's also a shit stirrer, but he's been really consistent with at least defending his drivers in the media and taking a little bit of heat. And so that was nice of him to do that, to be like, hey, man, just shut up. Shut your mouth. Yeah. Like, you're real hot now that you're not a driver.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That was not in the F1 post race that I saw on F1 TV. Yeah. That's
yeah, a little spicy over on Sky.
Great.
Yeah.
I love that. Good for him.
Yeah. I'm sure Alonso saw it during the race on the TV. He was just watching it and checking it out. Seeing how it goes. Yeah, man. So that was good. And then I hope in Montreal that, again, it's like everyone is rooting for Checo to close that gap. And then, the domination of Max is just, it's undeniable. And I think he's inevitable.
In his zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it almost makes me think that they're not cheating. Almost because of how bad Checo's doing. Yeah. Max is just... he's just in his zone, He's Scotty Scheffler. That's a weird reference.
I love it.
If you don't like golf, you don't get it. But he's in his zone right now.
He's Novak
Tiger
Djokovic.
In his prime.
We're going like super weird, like tennis, golf.
He's the Nelly Corda right now of the
I don't know who that is
Formula
at all.
One.
Yeah.
That's a LPGA player.
Dude, you are Sabrina Ionescu. That's WNBA for you. There you go.
He's Brittany Grainering right now. Okay, that's the only WNBA player I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I hope that he can pull it together. That is funny. I wish I would have seen that interview with Nico.
It was nice. It was just one of those like, ooh, yeah, I forgot these guys are all like alpha male and like have to like sharp, like have to go after each other. I was like, yep, this is
they're
fun.
all just peacocking. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's
it's like, oh, you're trying to puff your chest at me?
Oh.
Okay, well, check out my chest, Playboy. Yeah.
It's so good.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to talk about. I mean, God, there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. Zhou Guan Yu had a great race as well.
Yeah, he fought really hard, back and forth.
Really showed Valtteri up very well.
Yep.
But we got to while we're talking about Red Bull, and then we'll move on to Mercedes.
Yes.
Did you by chance see the most awkward hug between Adrian Newey and Max Verstappen?
No.
Adrian Newey hugged this guy like he was homophobic. He's like, I don't want to think anybody think I'm gay. All right, I don't want anybody to think I'm gay.
Yeah.
He like hugged it. It's like he put a hand between them and just did like a little pat on the shoulder.
Yeah.
It was so weird. Even the commentator was, I think it was Julian Palmer, was like, oh, and Adrian Newey with a really weird man-to-man hug. It was so awkward.
That is so funny. The hips out. He's like, even my hugs need to be aerodynamic. He's like, let me get some angles here on my body. Everyone's like, just come on, man. Just be a human.
There's a fence between you, dude.
Yeah.
It's fine. Just get some love in there, man. Your guy just won again. In the car that you designed, you autistic genius.
Yeah, exactly.
All right?
Yeah, come on, man. Just be normal, dude. Just let him have it. I love that so much.
It was so weird. I'm sure it's on the internet at this point, but if it's not, it was definitely on the F1 broadcast. But it was so funny.
I love that.
All right, let's talk about Merc.
The side pods are working.
And the floor that we all got to see the first time they brought it out.
Did you see the side-by-side of when they pulled up Red Bull's floor and then Mercedes' floor and then Williams' floor? Dude, just a quick side note. The Williams floor, like we were joking, like it looks like a dinner plate. Like there's just no grooves in it. It looks like a Hot Wheels car. It's crazy. It got pulled up this weekend and everyone was like, well, that's why. Like, that's why. It looks so flat compared to any other car on the grid. It's
holy Lord.
It's crazy. It looks like,
what the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's just flat. There's nothing to it. So all that to say,
they're like, whoa. You're supposed to have grooves down here?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on now.
We've been using hardwood. You guys said nice floors. We've been out here tiling our floor. Like, it just looks so ridiculous.
This is insane how bad this looks.
Yeah, it's so comical how simple it is compared to, like, the front of the grid, obviously. But, yeah, maybe they're working on it, but this might be a nice little wake-up call for all of F1 fans to be like, yo, we know that's bad. How do you not know that's bad?
That's terrible. That's what happens when a venture capital company comes in and buys a team.
Yeah.
I searched Williams floor versus Red Bull, and the second picture came up was Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull, and kind of interesting. Very interesting in the designs. It feels like Ferrari and Red Bull are pretty close, but Merc, I mean, they all have those fins just getting all that turbulent air out.
Yep.
I mean, kudos to Logan Sargent for being able to keep that motherfucker on the ground.
On the road at all.
Dude, it seems like this floor that Williams is giving him is just intentionally trying to lift him off the ground.
Yeah, it looks crazy. But
that's good. God, that's so bad.
Yeah, but like the Merc floor, Merc looks good. They clearly double podium. Good for them. Very exciting.
Yeah.
I think they moved into second in the constructors, which is crazy to me. Like, dude, of all the shit talking and all the up and down this year, they're already in second, or they are in second from just being consistently fine, and then now they're taking that step. I don't think they're gonna catch Red Bull's performance by the end of the year.
No.
I think maybe.
But they might stay ahead of Aston.
I think so.
Like, that's going to be the true battle is Aston and Merc.
Yep.
I think Ferrari, I don't think they're going to be able to pull it together. I think Ferrari's going to be lucky to get, to even be fighting with Aston.
Yeah.
I think that their drivers are great. I always love watching Carlos Sainz, do an interview.
Yep.
I don't know if he just doesn't ever wear earplugs throughout his whole life and can't hear anything, but every time I watch him do a interview, he kind of looks like he's on mushrooms. And I've said this before, but he always looks like he just kind of just big eyes and just
he's microdosing. Yeah, he's microdosing. He's letting it. Yeah, he's an intense guy. Yeah.
Dude, it's so fucking funny when he does it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. But I don't think that Ferrari is going to be able to fight with Aston. They need to pull their shit together. I think that Fernando's too good. I think that the amount of love, if you will, that Fernando is giving Lance.
Yep.
I think is going to instill some confidence in Lance.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to make him a better driver. It's going to be less pressure on him, I think. And I think that I think Lance can finish in points top 7.
Yep.
I would say definitely top 10, but I think Lance should always be top 7.
Yeah.
In every race. And I think that it's going to be Fernando and Lewis. Mm-hmm. They're always going to be battling from here on out, which is going to be so fun.
Yeah.
World champ after world champ.
Yep.
I just think that's going to be so fun to watch the rest of this year.
Well, and a huge factor of that ladder equation is George will always be, or at least has been consistently above Lance. So I think that will also push whether
Yep.
Alonso is always fighting with the Mercs, I think Lance won't be able to close that gap as tight as they need him to in the points. So then Mercedes will keep that top spot above at least Aston because of Lance's inability to get up higher and jump those Ferraris and jump at least the Merc guys. We'll see, but hopefully he gets it together a little bit more. But it's the same issue that Checo is having. Like, he's scoring enough points to keep Red Bull far and away the championship leader. Max is also doing that at a ridiculous rate. But if Lance continually stays below Ferrari and Russell and Alonso or at least and Hamilton, I don't think I think Aston's screwed. They need those extra points to jump up the ladder, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's the fact that he can take the fight to Ferrari is insane after last year of like how awful Aston was, and also how far we've come to just expect Aston to be up in the lead or at least on podiums, and that's amazing.
It's wild.
Amazing.
It's wild.
Like, remember last year, everyone was like, this is why Seb retired, because he has a terrible car, a terrible culture. Like, everything was just awful for him. He retires, and then now it's Alonso, and it's this completely different story. It's just unbelievable to think how far they've come, or how many engineers that they've poached to get where they are. Also, shout out to McLaren. They're also poaching people left and right. I think it's good. It's good. I like it. Other teams do it.
The culture at Red Bull probably sucks.
Yeah.
It probably sucks.
Other teams
let's
do
be
it,
real.
and I'm like, man, what a bunch of criminals. And then McLaren does it. I'm like, they know how to play the game the right way. Just massive hypocrisy. That's just what being a fan is. That's fine.
Yeah. Dude, Lawrence Stroll is making moves right now. He and I genuinely, I don't remember if I talked about this last week, so I apologize if this is a repeat. But he made a promise to his fans that they're going to get a win, and I don't think that they're going to get a win this generation of the cars. I think it's going to come in like 26 when things change up.
Oh, yeah.
But he is hell-bent on success.
Yeah.
He's hell-bent on winning, and he's showing it. He's doing it, dude. He is, and the amount, I don't know if you know this or not, but apparently because of Aston's, like, we've all seen that that thought of like, do you buy stuff because you see it on Formula One cars or whatever?
Yeah.
Apparently Aston people do. The amount of Formula One edition Vanquishes and DBS, like the Formula One SUV that they have for the like safety cars, it's like $350 million that they're like bringing in just for the Formula One edition cars. Dude, they're killing it.
That's crazy.
And Lawrence is like, we're going to fucking win. Period.
Yeah.
And I think Fernando is like, I'm in. I think he's feeling great. I think I think physically he's there. I think mentally he's there, and I think. You know, I bet you he's having as much fun as I think he's having.
Yeah, you hope so. Yeah, I really even on the broadcast, you could see, I mean, a clear, obviously, home race, so people are buying Alonso gear, but a ton of the neon Aston hats in the stands, which, again, it's Spain, obviously, but pretty cool to see that the support for
those
Aston
hats were dope.
Yeah.
Those neon camo hats, those things are sick. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So good for Merc. Excited for them. They their upgrades seem to be pushing them super hard in the right direction. I think they're gonna keep taking steps forward. I don't know enough about what their upgrades exactly were and if it really catered to Barcelona. We'll find out in Montreal, but
or if it catered to Lewis over George.
Truly, I mean, Lewis is now performing a little higher, and we've known from the last year George is capable of taking that fight to Lewis, so we'll see. Even Toto was excited, like, to hear him be like that positive about taking a step forward. I'm guessing that they have even more in their bag that they haven't shown yet.
It's mind-blowing to me how ugly this season has been for them, and how their results are. It doesn't make sense to me. Like if they take home second, they're going to go home this year and be like, woof.
Yeah.
That was work.
Yeah.
That's like when you go to a comedy show. It was the exact show that like you had.
Dude,
it was like,
totally.
fuck, I got to work right now.
Yep.
We're supposed to be having fun.
Yeah.
This is a lot
It is work.
to do.
I am sweating at a weird
Ugh.
co-working space for this. It's it is too much. Yeah, it's like, come on.
Yeah, I hope they pull it out.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to me that the reason I say it seems like the upgrades are more catered to Ludog than Jorge is because
See?
is because George showed the first car is doable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then now he's like he ain't doing so well.
Yeah. I think it was a symptom of George was so used to taking a shitbox in Williams and putting it up into Q3 and then fighting for higher positions. And Lewis is like, I've had the greatest car for a long time. What is this? I don't know how to drive.
What the fuck is this trash?
Not a perfect car. And then now the car's getting better.
Did you give me a Ford Fusion?
Yeah,
what happened here?
Is this 2011? I asked for an 18, and you give me an 11? What's happening right now? Yeah, there's no side pods. Put some side pods on this Fusion, please.
For the love of God, put on some side pods.
Honestly, I think a Ford Fusion floor might be better than the Williams, though.
The Williams
to
floor.
be honest. I might have more downforce than their car.
Oh God. Now speaking of Lewis, I keep seeing this online, and I know that we've debunked this.
Yes.
But now I saw that Ferrari is ready to offer $75 million to Lewis to come to them. And then when Laura Winter was interviewing Toto today, she goes, a bit of a cheeky question here. Okay, I'm not gonna.
That was good.
But she goes, what's the deal with Lewis's contract? And it was like Toto was ready for this conversation.
Yeah, of course.
Because he goes, all we need is 30 minutes and a cup of coffee, and we'll be set.
We're covered. Hilarious. They're like, we just need a Google Calendar invite. That's all we need.
Yeah, I'm like, I know Lewis is busy, but you can't lock. You're the owner of this team. You can't lock this down for 30 minutes.
Yeah, you can't send
you pay
one
all of
email.
his fees.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, hey, you want to come back next year?
Sure.
Here's a number.
Sure.
You good with that?
Yeah. You good?
What's your number?
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like it would be that hard. He makes it seem like they're just about to sign. It was so ready to go, and so overwhelmingly positive that I was like, I don't know, they might lose him.
Yeah.
But after this race, I mean, I just don't think that Lewis cares about the money.
No, not at this point. No, it's winning. You gotta get to that point where you're just like, I don't. It's a status thing, I think. You just have to be like, yeah, I'm worth this much because of. Otherwise, you are underselling yourself as the brand because however much money they give him, it's not enough for what he brings to Mercedes, what he brings to the brand, to the sport. He's worth more than whatever they give him because of the economics of the sport. But at the end of the day, you got to be like, hey, man, I am at least worth this. I'm the greatest of all time. Give me money, dude. Give me the money. Right. You can't just be like at this level. And so,
I wonder if he'll want ownership.
I wonder. I think that's definitely in the conversation. He went to Mercedes at a time where everyone was like, what are you doing? And then that Mercedes turned into the absolute icons of the sport that they are. And because of him, because of Toto, because of the hybrid engine era, why wouldn't you? Like, just run it out with Mercedes, become a part of the face of that company, and just keep raking in just bags of money.
He's so synonymous with them that it would be weird for him to leave. And as it's been mentioned several times throughout the broadcast, seeing what Merck did this week, there's no team that can bring upgrades and bring changes. Like Mercedes mid-season. There's no one. Clearly Ferrari ain't doing it. Clearly they're out. And he's exactly right. They like Merck is like, we are not. They goddamn near brought a like a second car, a brand new car to Monaco that would have been in Imola, and it's clearly a great vehicle.
It looks good.
So it's why would you leave that for the money? And I feel like the internet is just getting me to click on it and talk about it so they can perpetuate this shit.
100%.
And it's starting to piss me off.
The narrative.
Because I'm like, he's not leaving.
Yeah.
He probably makes triple the amount he does from Mercedes and sponsorships alone.
For sure. Yeah, I think he's so ingrained in like the ecosystem. I think it's just not worth him starting over, quote unquote, with so many things in his career because of money. I don't think he cares about that. But speaking of Merc, let's get into our Mazzy. Oh, good. Because I have one picked out. It's
dope. I love it.
Very silly. It's very silly. It's not even that much of a Mazzy. It's not a problem. It's not someone being super racist and having to pay a bunch of money for it.
So it's not helmet. It's not helmet or
Nelson Piquet.
Or Nelson Piquet.
No.
Okay.
It is Mercedes centric, but it's a very silly moment that made me laugh. So the Mazzy this week goes to sweat. The concept of sweat. As a sweaty person myself, I felt so seen, and it was so relatable to me when George Russell was like, hey, has anyone else reported rain? Because I think it's raining, or it could be sweat coming off of my face. And then his engineer goes, I think that's sweat, bud. Sorry, dude. To be sweating so much that you're like, it's raining right now, right? That spoke to my heart at the deepest level of like, hey, we're all in a shower right now together, right? And everyone's like, you're disgusting. This is disgusting. So
shout out to having a full head of hair, you fucking asshole.
Yeah. Well,
dude, go ahead.
Well, because then Crofty and Brendel both were like, he normally smells like cologne. It could be cologne. They were like making fun of him for like always, he's like, he looks flawless all the time. Like they immediately started piling on of like how awesome and like beautiful he always is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Always has no-show socks and just a little bit of ankle. Because he's proper. He's a proper lady.
Yep. So yeah, Mazzy goes to his sweat.
It was so funny to hear him talking about that. He goes, well, there was a little bit of hair that didn't make it into the I forget what they call that, like that thing, that mask that like holds the sweat for him.
Yeah.
And he goes, it was dangling on the hair, and they pull so many G's under braking that the sweat will come off of their face and hair and just hit the back of the inside of the visor. And in the F1 post show that Will Buxton was doing on F1 TV,
friend of the pod.
Yes, he is. They had Drugovich.
Oh, nice, Felipe.
Yes. They had Felipe as like the guest host of it, and he said, he was actually in support of all this sweat because he goes, it's good that people can know how many G's we're actually pulling under braking.
Yeah, how physical
it literally will jump off of your face onto the back of the visor. And then Will Buxton said that I guess Nico Rosberg used to put a sweat pad under his helmet to make sure that he wouldn't drip down into his eyes.
Damn, wild.
You imagine how hard that'd be going 210 miles an hour and sweat just drips right in the corner of your eye.
You're blinking. Dude. Crazy.
You got to change your differential settings and shit, and you're just trying to like deal with a burning eyeball.
Yeah, Alonso's furious. He's like, I can't see the screens. I'm trying to watch the race. I can't.
Alonso's probably going to request on the new Aston upgrade to get a feed on his steering wheel. Like, let me just turn a knob and see what's going on Sky Sports.
I just picture it's like one of those like weird like styrofoam iPhone holders that like wraps around the vent, and he's just got it like down low there, and he just keeps like glancing down at it just to see. He's like,
He's that good. He's raced these tracks so many times.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't really need to have my eyes open, but I guess.
Yeah, or like he's got a button on his steering wheel that flashes in between like just Sky Sports and his actual like gears and and everything. That's fun. That's a fun thing to do.
Oh man, I love it. Drip drop, baby, drip drop. The Mazzy winner comes to humidity.
So that's it.
I was hoping for a little bit of rain after how fun Monaco ended up being, because Monaco is only fun with the rain.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, like that hairpin is just stupid with how big these goddamn cars are.
Yep.
Again, fun race. Maybe don't take it off the schedule.
You're like, maybe we'll walk it back.
But Yeah, that's
Still.
a great Mazzy, dude.
That
That's
was fun.
So
That was a
funny.
fun one.
Yeah,
So, yep.
that's so funny.
Great week.
Well,
Excited for
it
Montreal.
was a good week.
Yeah,
it
was great.
fun. If you're one of our Canadian listeners and you've never been to a Formula One race, I highly recommend you go. If you have been to Formula One races before, then you know that Saturday is going to be the best day. So
Go do it.
watch it at the Hard Rock Casino afterwards on Sunday.
With the Jonas Brothers.
You'll and lip sync with the JBs.
Let's go.
But yeah, what a fun time, and thank you everybody for listening, for joining us every week. We will be here next week, but there is no race next week, so we're going to figure something out.
Yes.
I assume there's going to be some sort of motorsport happening in IndyCar or something like that, but I can guarantee you we got some fun planned. So, and that's us. We're always fun. If you haven't already, please give us a nice review. Those reviews help us get found. And give us a follow.
Be good to
follow
each
Jeff
other.
Tice, at Jeffrey Tice. Yeah, be nice to each other.
Yeah.
Hug your kids.
Yes.
Put them in car seats.
Yes.
Jeff just kind of lets his just bounce around in the back seat.
She's been trying to drive. She's getting better, but it's just so the dexterity's not fully there on the hairpins. So we're getting there.
Are you going to give her your Ford Fusion when she turns 16?
Yeah, let's pretend it's going to last that long. Absolutely. She gets
The
it.
2011 Ford Fusion in 2050 or however old she'll be.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. I don't know how math works.
It'll be good.
Well, thanks, everybody. We love you. Follow our good people at KO Recording, Kat Orlean.
Shout out, Kat.
That's our producer. Our video editor, Jen Moffitt, at Points and Williams, which they did not get.
Damn.
Yikes. At Floors on a Williams.
Hey.
We'll see you guys next week, Monday, for another episode, and then the week after for Canada. We love you. Be safe. Wear your seatbelts, and goodbye.